Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
As I record this at 9/11, ooh, there's so much symbolism going on here. This was the only video we did yesterday. We were absorbed in getting prepared for homesteading some chickens, which appeared to be, some of them are going to be hatching in the next maybe a couple days, I hope.
Yes, we should have birthday babies April 1st.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. So this was talking about how the Martian invasion, little green men, it might not have been exactly what you think it was, but it really was. It really did happen. Ooh, that's interesting. This is interesting. Yemen is mobilizing 1 million troops for ground invasion into Israel, ? This is what the rumors are saying. I was doubtful about that, but I did a little research, and Yemen has a population of about 41 million. They've been in war, civil war, for a very long time. So you have a lot of battle-hardened people. And you also have a population that has been in struggle and strife and toil. They've had it hard. So, this type of thing, just like what we've seen in Iraq, what they've had to go through in Afghanistan, it could build some formidable soldiers. And 1 million men sounds like a lot. In fact, it really is very, very interesting number. It's a nice round number, right? 1 million man army for Iran. And then over here we see Iran, 1.5 million ready forces plus Basji equals about 10 million. Yemen, 1 million battle-hardened soldiers. Iraq and Lebanon, about 1 million, and then 150,000 for Lebanon. So you have a massive amount of military forces coming together. And I think there's this thought in the mind of maybe some Americans that, we could kind of take anything, that we're so far elevated over any other military. But you have to realize, too, all this has been planned. There's purpose behind it. When you look at scripture, including prophecies, there's a lot of things in play. And, what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to change the system. This is a Nostradamus prophecy. We've talked about this like 2 or 3 times on the lives, which, again, I know not everybody goes through all the lives, and we cover so much information that I wanted to just touch on this by itself. The Arab prince, which would be, in my mind, Muhammad bin Salman, inclined towards Persia. Very nearly 1 million men will invade Byzantium, which is now part of Turkey, and Egypt. Ooh, okay, that's an interesting quatrain from Nostradamus, Century 5, Quatrain 25. When you put that together with some of the other ones and think about the timing of everything, this one, the time will be filthy, pestilent, and violent, right? Filthy, that certainly describes this time period, all the dirt coming out about the Lights, all the dirt with E Island. Pestilent, yeah, I mean, we've seen our share of plague upon the lands and all sorts of stuff. You have weaponized ticks, you have, mosquito factories, you get the picture. And violent nonstop. A terrible Muslim attack, an invasion. When? Great disasters are made in April. Guess what? April's 4 days away. And great persons will be ridiculed, but for 2 of them. I think that there's a lot of people that think, all this is really just Netanyahu and Trump. Trump and Netanyahu. It's bigger than just those 2, but they are the ones that will be ridiculed for all the great disasters that come upon us in the month of April and thereafter, and also what's already happened. So a terrible Muslim attack and invasion in April. 2 people that are singled out. It's just so clear. How about all the talk of Baal? One who the infernal gods of Hannibal, Baal Hamon, will cause to be born, terror to all mankind. Never before more horror, nor the newspapers tell of worst in the past. Then will come to the Italians through Babylon. So what are they talking about? Again, all the talk of Baal and human sacrifices is it's just, you can't avoid it. All sorts of horror and terror. And this is also referring here, then will come to the Italians through Babylon. Italy, Maloney has kind of She's taken a step away, as has Hungary and Slovakia from supporting, and Poland to a degree, from supporting Ukraine and not wanting to, again, inflame wars. But what we're going to see is it's an Islamic jihad that is again being born because of the actions of the West in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, and now Iran. We go all the way back, and you had General Wesley Clark. We're going to invade 7 countries in 5 years. Well, it didn't happen in 5 years. But, here we are. We are now 25 years later, and finally they've gone into Iran, and that completes all the countries that were listed by General Wesley Clark back in the day. So we do see how this can all correlate. And the mention of Baal, again, we've been talking about this. How about Mabus? I do think that's Mohammed bin Salman. I could be wrong on this. This is one of the most famous quatrains ever. Mabus will soon die, then will come a horrible slaughter of people and animals at once vengeance is revealed, coming from 100 lands, thirst and famine when the comet will pass. Again, Mohammed bin Salman has been saying, let's go harder against Iran. And there's actually the war in Yemen is a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran, with the United States on the Saudi Arabian side. There were actually shots that were heard inside the presidential palace, or the palace of the prince, you could say, in Saudi Arabia, and nothing was ever stated about that. In this day and age, I think there's multiple actors that could stand in for any sort of a very important personage, such as Mohammed bin Salman, Trump, obviously. How many Bidens did we see? How many John Fettermans have we seen? We've seen Hillarys of different heights. So, even when we hear about the fact that, Hillary might have been taken out years ago, it doesn't matter. They're just going to roll out another one to fill the gap. So the reality is it's the entirety of the system that must go away. We have to wash this system away. Thirst and famine, when the comet shall pass. Yes, well, we do have comets, and we're going to take a look at that. The cruel sect of Muslims will come, hiding weapons under their robes. Their leader will take Florence, which is in Italy, and burn it twice, sending ahead clever men without laws. This is a direct referring to, again, all the sleeper cells that are in place. They're just waiting for the go sign. What is the go sign? I do think when these million-man armies are moving, literally, to come to Israel, that's the go sign. It'll probably be triggered by some sort of big attack from Trump and Netanyahu, again, U.S. and Israel, some sort of major escalation attack that happens, which, by the way, may happen very soon, could even happen today. And then you'll see a reprisal start to happen. And when's the timing? The timing, again, is in April. April. This is what we've been told by the prophecies. So, it's so clear. You have Israel attacking a Turkish cargo ship. Turkey's been holding back, but they're making ever-increasing, stronger statements, and ultimately, when they are ready, they will go with the backing of Russia, and together Turkey and Russia may initiate that multi-million man army from many other nations, including Yemen, including Iraq, which has already just made statements again that they are aligned with their mortal enemy, Iran. I mean, this goes back to Babylon fighting Persia, but they will be aligned together. I do think Pakistan is another that will join the fray. You might even see some countries that you wouldn't even expect taking part in this. Also countries from Africa proper. Freemason Albert Pike's prediction about World War III seems to be coming to pass pretty much exactly. What is the ultimate goal? The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agents of Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. They must take each other out. And of course, Christianity being the westernized European and U.S. Christian nations being aligned mostly with Israel. But again, Israel and the U.S. seem to be off on their own at this point in time. That's where, again, it's making reference to the two and the two leaders that are being ridiculed for bringing all this disaster onto us. But it's all part of the script. This was given back in 1871, if you believe that mythology. Yet, nonetheless, we're watching the script come to pass. So what is the purpose? It's to bring people to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. Then they're going to unleash, the AI side of things, the more atheistic side of things with, the Antichrist being revealed. Is Antichrist actually literally the AI itself? By the way, April 2026 is going to bring something extraordinary. 2 comets in the sky at the same time will be visible. 2 duality, conflict. Again, there's many different things we can see when we look into this. And, one of them is MAPS, Minor Attracted Persons, is what it stands for. April 4th. April 5th is Easter Sunday, right? So we have Good Friday, and this is the time when things are running. 3 days in, Christ supposedly spent 3 days in the underworld, was put to death, and on the 3rd day he rose. And again, that's referring in many ways to the winter solstice. It's also referring to a major event that's going to be going to transpire possibly in our lives. That is going to be the death knell for the system that's in place, and ultimately the return of the light to the world. And we'll talk about that in another video. Hopefully we're going to get that up to date too. So it's a poker game, right? And again, the house is rigged the system. The house always wins. The house always wins. So how do you really win? You don't play the game. You don't play the game. You don't, contribute to it. They feed off of fear, death, and destruction. Now, by exposing their plans, are we feeding into that? No, we're trying to get people to understand this is a script. They want to keep you in fear. Death and destruction is part of their game. This is what they do to us time and time again. If we refuse to fight each other, their house of cards collapses.
Indeed.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.